Today we will be learning what is AOT, ahead of time compilation, what is JIT, just in time compilation, and we will be seeing Angular version and the compilation option they are using, whether they are using JIT or they are using AOT. So we will be learning all that in this video. So let's start. Now one question should come to your mind that Angular uses HTML templates and TypeScript to build apps. Okay, but browser understands only JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So like how we are converting HTML templates and TypeScript to JavaScript. Okay, so there should be one compilation option which will be converting HTML templates, TypeScript into JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Okay, so we will be learning both the ways to convert your TypeScript and HTML templates to JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Based on timing to convert your TypeScript to JavaScript, there are two compilation options. One is AOT, ahead of time compilation, and another one is JIT, just in time compilation. So now we will be learning ahead of time compilation. So in Angular, ahead of time compilation is the process of compiling your application at build time before the browser downloads and runs the code. Here is an idea. Normally, Angular templates need to be turned into JavaScript that browser can execute. With AOT, this transformation happens during the build phase, not in the browser. So what happens? So to run our Angular app, we uses a command like npm run start or ngserve. So when we run this command, the entire application build starts. Okay. So at that time, we have not started the application in browser. We are only building our application. So this is the time when your Angular or TypeScript gets converted into JavaScript. Okay. So this process is called as ahead of time compilation. Okay, so what is build time? So we have understood build time is the time when we run our server, and before server gets started, the entire application gets converted to JavaScript. So this process is known as ahead of time compilation. Based on timing, there is one more compilation option, JIT, or just in time compilation. So what is the time when JIT process happens? So it happens during runtime. So what is runtime means? So when you start your server, okay, and you execute your application in the browser by hitting the URL. Okay, at that time, the process which converts your TypeScript or Angular templates to JavaScript, which browser can render, so that process is known as just-in-time compilation. There are few characteristics of just-in-time compilation. Just-in-time compilation have larger bundle size because, as you know, in this compilation option, browser has both the codes, your TypeScript code and as well as the code which has been converted to JavaScript. So bundle size becomes huge. It has like slower startup time. So all the compilation happens during runtime. So startup time becomes low, but it is great for development. So uh, it makes local development very fast, and it is very useful to put debugger in our application. So while debugging your application, just in time compilation is very useful because in dev mode we can directly put a debugger in your browser dev tools, and we can see how our code is getting executed. So these are the few advantages of just in time compilation. Now we will be seeing Angular versions and the default compilation mode that they use. From Angular 2 to Angular 8 version, we were using like just in development mode, and AOT was optional on production mode. And from 9 to 11, AOT was by default for production and JIT is for development mode. So what is production mode and what is development mode? So development mode is the time when you develop your code, when you write your code. Okay, and production mode is for the users which sees your application. So in production mode, there is no requirement to show your exact code. Okay, that is the reason AOT was used in production mode, so that your code is not visible to the users in production. Okay, and JIT was used for development mode because in development we required to put some debugger and check our logic. So JIT was used for development mode. From Angular 12 to 13, AOT was in both the modes as well as in development mode and production mode. But JIT was still possible with some flags, and AOT became standard to catch templates, errors, and early. So why AOT from Angular 12 to Angular 13? Why AOT becomes so important? Because in AOT it takes like less time to render your application, and as a developer we are always care about time. So if something saves our time, then we should definitely use it. So AOT become very important from Angular version 12 to 13. From Angular 14, AOT was only there. Okay, but here you should not get confused with IV. IV is an engine which converts your TypeScript or HTML into JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So please don't get confused between IV and AOT. AOT is the process, whereas IV is the engine. From Angular 16 plus onwards, we are using AOT only. So these are the important points about Angular versions versus default compilation mode. So I will be providing this document in this description in this video's description. So please go through it and read it. There is one best practice that I want to teach you. So if you see our application that we have built in previous video, so if you see app.html, here I am displaying hello world in H1 tab. So if you go to angular.json file, there are two configurations. One is like production mode, which is visible to users, and development mode, which is visible to coders or developers. Okay, so in developer mode, in development mode, there is one configuration, source map, which has been set to true. Okay, and in production mode, that source map has been turned to false. So what does it actually do? Let us learn that. So first we will run our application in development mode. If you see out in serve mode, we are running our application in development mode. So what does it actually mean? So what this its source map is doing? So if you see our application hello world, if you reload your application and open developer tools, if you go to source, okay, and here search like app.ts, it will be visible. Okay, app.html is also visible and app.ts is also visible. Okay, but in production mode you don't want to see show this code. So what you need to do, you need to change the configuration. So in production mode, what I have done, I have made this source map as false, so in so that your source code is not visible in production mode. Okay, so for that, what I am doing, I am changing my default configuration to production. Okay, and what I am doing, I am rerunning my application. So you have to make sure that any changes you do in Angular JSON file, your application should be rerun. So I am rerunning my application. So in production mode, the source map is false. So if you now go to run our application and go to source tab and try to find out app.ts file, you will not get it because that has been hidden in production mode. So this is one of the best practice that you should do when you build production ready apps. So and also important. This is also one of the important interview question that has been asked in many interviews. So please learn it. Thank you all. That's all in this video. Please don't forget to subscribe this channel and don't forget to join our Discord community as well as WhatsApp community. And have fun and have a great day. Bye. Thank you.